Alright, you win. I'm gonna click on this stupid fucking link. Even though you insulted mine, calling it a virus. Okay, the diary wasn't leaked by the daughter. This says it was stolen evidence, not admissible in court. Alright.
We were talking earlier about looking back now at Snowden, looking back at Assange, looking back at WikiLeaks, looking now at Ashley Biden's diary. A couple just pleaded guilty to stealing the diary and giving it to Project Veritas. So according to the New York Times, that proves
okay, Project Veritas. What do you know about Project Veritas, Brendan? Because I've heard about them and I've learned a few things about them. Do I have to look into that? Well, I didn't even look at the title. Yeah, Project Veritas. Fuck it. Okay. Wikipedia. I don't know what you think of Wikipedia, but, well... Okay, yeah, far-right activist group. Now, far-right, you know, they're... Of course, the problem is you are far-right, and you approve of everything being far-right now. So, I don't know. Deceptively edited videos, undercover operations, secret recordings, mainstream media, or effort to discredit mainstream media organizations and progressive groups. Yeah, so not a very good fucking movement, this Project Veritas. Well, okay, so you approve of Project Veritas. Why? I guess that would be the question. Anyway.
Is real. The diary was largely ignored by most legacy media when it was first reported by Project Veritas. Ashley Biden allegedly...
Actually, it wasn't first reported by Project Veritas, right?
Maybe it was the New York Times.
Somebody else? No, it was another right-wing site.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they leaked it, and James O'Keefe was reportedly very...
Okay, you were probably right-wing, as I said before, Brendan, so... and you guys just hate the Democrats, anybody on the left. They're all pedophiles, commies, Satanists, whatever. So how does the right wing explain to me just how you guys are so much better than the left wing? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Set that it had leaked. Now, Ashley Biden allegedly wrote about taking, quote, probably not appropriate showers with my dad. Listen, like, the point of bringing this up in the context of the Zuckerberg conversation...
Okay, how's this? Why should I listen to anything the right wing says over the left wing? As you guys have demonstrated to me over the past year of me being on this site that you're nothing but name-calling, insults, tactics, fallacies, assertions, baseless assertions, just nothing. Preaching. How much verbal abuse have I suffered from you assholes over the year? I mean, you yourself have flooded my inbox with nothing but nonsense garbage, as a few others have in the past. Yeah, what credibility... Why should I listen to anything you guys have to say? As a neutral. No, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not left-wing. I'm not a progressive. Well, I am a progressive, but in my own way. I have my own ideas and, whatever. So, yeah. You tell me why I should take you motherfuckers seriously.
Is that if you want to go for a French model, there is no clear way to know whether any of this is Russian disinformation. The intelligence community signed this letter where you had all of these high-profile, in many cases liars, saying the laptop looks like Russian disinformation. We now know there's...
Okay, what does any of this have to do with Ashley Biden's diary? How is it? So it's been a minute so far. There's 3 minutes left in this video. Less than. And nothing has been said so far about the actual diary. You're the one who linked me to this video.
Good evidence suggesting it wasn't. It's still an open question what happened, as it is an open question, about other things that have leaked into the public before. Right. You've reported on some of them. You were mentioning whether this is, like, where did this come from? We don't always have a clear answer to that question, and asking the government to take censorship steps when those questions remain open is anti-American.
Right, and if you say that we won't allow the publication of hacked or stolen documents, like that's a phrase you often see.
Yes.
Pentagon Papers were stolen.
Yeah.
Edward Snowden's documents were stolen.
I think we're all happy to have learned what we learned from WikiLeaks.
Right. And those were either hacked or stolen.
Yeah, we don't know.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was the phishing email, right? It was the.
Right.
We don't know.
Like,
Again,
right.
The thing is, the origins of it are not clear enough that we can.
Okay, so halfway through the video, still nothing about the diary being confirmed, but as I'll comment on the title here, 2 people plead guilty for selling it to the Project Veritas. Now, my question is, how the fuck did they get a hold of this diary? As a diary is something personal. And, I mean, let alone selling it to a right-wing group which I just briefly went over on Wikipedia. What the fuck? This is sick. How would you feel if somebody stole your fucking diary and sold it to some group that basically fascist, and a group that goes against everything you stand for? How would you feel about that? Your fucking diary being sold. Wouldn't you be a little upset about that? What the fuck?
Make a completely definitive judgment
but it's hacked,
and say,
like,
censor.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you give that power over to a handful of entities that don't want, say, the Snowden documents out, then they can say these are stolen documents.
Yeah, exactly.
Still nothing about the Biden diary.
Nonsense. We saw it happen with the Biden laptop, and that's another part of this conversation about the credibility of the Department of Justice and the FBI. It doesn't just apply to the Mar-a-Lago raid. This is the credibility that comes up, and you have people who are working on the raid, who were working on the Russia collusion narrative. When these questions come up and there's no credibility left, and former people from the intelligence community are just like, oh, that laptop that's going to hurt the leading presidential candidate that we want elected over the man that we hate more than anything else. Yeah, that looks like Russian disinformation. You're getting into Banana Republic, world.
Right, and then you haven't even gotten to the question of actual fake news.
Right.
Like Trump appropriated the term fake news from actual fake news.
The real fake news stories.
Like there was Romanian companies and Estonian companies and Macedonian companies where have kids. Some of them were like teenagers.
Yeah.
And there was one that was like made to look like ABC News.
Yeah, like Elvis still alive, found in North Carolina.
And like
still nothing about Ashley's diary.
Of Hillary Clinton found, and then they put those on Facebook, and
the video is almost over.
They weren't even trying.
A few seconds left.
Those were not even about trying to like monkey with the election. They knew it would click, and they were making money off it, and Facebook was making money off it because they were paying Facebook to spread it. The whole thing's a mess.
Nothing. Okay, now there's a few other videos, right? Now. Okay. The Sky News one is good. It's the Scott. What the fuck is the Scott? What are you talking about, anyway? What do we got here? The Hunter Biden laptop story explained.
It's a story with suggestions of a scandal, one that could threaten a presidency. At its center is a laptop. The computer belongs to Hunter Biden, son of Joe, the US president. It's been all the talk, particularly in Trump-supporting circles, for years.
By the way, whatever happened to Hunter? Where the hell is he?
Now
Relevance?
Republicans in Congress want
What does Hunter have to
investigate
do
the
with
Hunter
anything?
Biden affair. So what are the allegations against him? What could be the implications for his father, the US president?
Why does Donald Trump care about Hunter? Is he the president? No. He's living his fucking life, which is what Donald is not doing. He's struggling to keep himself relevant. It's what Donald's trying to fucking do.
The story was reported in the right-wing New York Post before the 2020 election. It went like this. It was 2019 and Joe Biden was soon to run against Donald Trump for the presidency. Hunter Biden went into a computer repair shop. He wanted to recover data from some broken laptop computers, but he never returned to pick them up. Eventually the computer repairman, John Paul McIsaac, looked at what was on the laptops, as he says he was allowed to, under a so-called 90-day abandonment procedure.
Okay, now wouldn't that be unethical to snoop into it? Throw it out. Or just reformat it and try to sell it to somebody else as refurbished or something. The guy had no business fucking doing that. That's bullshit.
The computer repairman.
In fact, Hunter should be suing that motherfucker for doing that. I would. I'd sue him for everything he's got. I'd clean that motherfucker out for doing that kind of shit.
And fined, well, quite a lot. Homemade pornography, embarrassing photos. But it was the email traffic that turned this into a more serious matter. Hunter Biden used to be on the board of a Ukrainian energy company.
Okay, what do you say there?
But it was the email traffic that turned this into a 90-day abandonment procedure. What did the computer repairman find? Well, quite a lot. Homemade pornography, embarrassing photos. But it was the email traffic.
Okay, what does that have to do with politics? What does that have to do with Joe Biden? If the guy's guilty of illegal pornography or something, then Hunter is to be held legally responsible for any kind of crime he committed there. That has nothing to do with politics or anything. That has nothing to do with Joe or politics. Nothing. It's completely aside politics or anything to do with the country. And it shouldn't be even be made. That's personal. It's none of anybody else's fucking business, even if he did commit any kind of crime regarding the pornography or homemade pornography. That's bullshit. So you're trying to this whole time you're trying to prove that Joe is a pedophile, yet both of these well, the first one said nothing. I learned nothing about that diary, other than it was stolen and sold. Who the fuck does shit like that to a diary? And you're trying to pass both of these videos as proof that Joe is a pedophile. What does Hunter Biden's pornography have to do with Joe's sexuality? I can't comment on the diary because I know nothing about it as of yet. In fact, I haven't even heard about it until you mentioned it. That's how irrelevant that fucking diary is, Brendan.
That turned this into a more serious matter. Hunter Biden.
How is it a serious matter?
A Ukrainian energy company called Burisma. And John Paul McIsaac claims the laptop contained evidence that Hunter Biden used his connection with his father to help in this role, something that would amount to corruption. One email from a
Okay.
With his father to help in this role, something that would amount to corruption.
How is it corrupt? So he's getting help from his dad for homemade pornography? How is that a crime? Can you provide what law is against that, Brendan? Or anybody else who may click on this video? How is that illegal? I mean, what the fuck? Get over yourselves. And even if you have a point, how is Donald a better president than Joe? Not that I'm a supporter of Joe, I'm not. But you guys are going on and on and on and on about this guy. Get over yourselves. That doesn't prove he's a pedophile. That's what you're fucking going on about here, actually. So you guys are on about nothing. Fucking stupid.
One email from a consultant to the firm read, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together."
The announcement of my guy's upcoming travels. Now, my guy, Hunter refers to his father as my guy, or the chairman, or the big guy.
Joe Biden
So?
says he's never discussed his son's overseas dealings with him. He's
A bit strange, but so what?
As Russian disinformation.
It got out because the Republican Party is fucking desperate.
Who says he voted for Donald Trump in the 2016 election, made a copy of the laptop's contents, and then told the FBI
who's this
in
guy?
December 2019 the laptop's contents. Man who says he voted for Donald McIsaac, the computer repairman, who says he voted for Donald Trump in the 2016 election, made a copy of the laptop's contents.
Now, did he have any business doing that? What the fuck? I mean, granted, that was stupid on Hunter's part, but I don't know what his story was there, but what does that have to do with anything? And the key thing there is the repairman is a Donald Trump supporter. What does that say about this whole deal? This whole thing is nothing. It doesn't prove that Joe is a pedophile. At best, it proves that he's a creep. Well, not even, because it's homemade pornography. How is that illegal? Maybe he shouldn't have been doing it as a president. I don't know. But that's about the only crime that's being committed. You guys are going all over the blowing this way out of fucking proportion. So if this is all you got, then I don't see how Ashley's diary could be any fucking worse. This has nothing to do with pedophilia. It has everything to do with pornography. Nothing. Pornography exists. It's a legitimate market, you fucking assholes.
And then told the FBI in December 2019. The story eventually made its way to the New York Post.
Ah, boy.
It was seized upon by Mr. Trump and his supporters, but it didn't make the impact that might have been expected. The FBI made clear their concerns about Russian disinformation ahead of the 2020 election. Subsequently, Facebook and Twitter restricted the spread of the laptop story on their platforms. Joe Biden won the 2020 election. The laptop story wasn't given the scale of coverage that might have been expected, but it's now back.
Why should it be given any coverage? It's pornography. So fucking what? It doesn't prove anything about Joe other than he might be committing a small crime as a president, if he's not allowed to do that as a president. Wait till he's out of office to do that shit. If it's legal, sorry. Fuck, this is so ridiculous. Yeah, why has it?
The House of Representatives in the US, and in the new session of Congress, they've promised to investigate claims of corruption.
This evidence raises troubling questions about whether President Biden is a national security risk, and about whether he is compromised by foreign.
Okay, that thing mentioned, I had to cut it out because it involves some stuff YouTube does not allow me to talk about, not even mention. What did Donald do about the illegal immigration at the Mexican border, huh? He proposed a wall, did he not? Did he pull through on that wall? Suppose he did though, what would it have accomplished? How would the wall have stopped illegal immigration from Mexico?
The tale of the Hunter Biden laptop will have is yet to be seen, but it's one story.
Yeah, so this video does not prove that Joe Biden is a fucking pedophile, you stupid asshole. Refers to his father as the big guy or Mike. Who cares? Nothing. Yeah, it's strange, but it's still nothing. So fucking what? The Scottish guy in the video with the hat. And what do they say about that guy? You guys are fucking pathetic.